Hi guys. So we worked our way down this coast a little bit, and just cleaned up some of the small ones. Now we got these three bigger ones down here that we got to clean out. We got this one. We're probably gonna get these two. We could probably bypass them. In fact, we may just bypass them. But we got this big sucker over here we got to get. Um, so let's go ahead right quick and set our technology. Cargo rocket silo research. Logistics 3, speed, braking, and mining productivity. And they're all purples. We're getting into where we're almost ready for the yellow sciences that we won't be able to get until we start making urinalysis science. So that's that. All right. So basically what we've been doing is the same thing we've been doing the whole time. We're turning off our well, yeah, I see it jumping around down there. We're turning off our caster, and then we're are putting down our blueprints where we can to get as close as we can, and taking these guys out. Now the problem here is we got these rocks, so we kind of got to avoid the rocks. But the issue we got going on down here is we got these biters down here on this beach, and we want them off this beach because the problem is Charlie don't surf. We want this beach. Now we can't see far enough down without triggering these guys, I don't think. Yeah, see, they're starting to pop up. They know we're here. So we're not going to be able to get all the way down here all in one swell foop, but we're going to go for it. We're going to keep our we're going to get rid of that one, and we're going to move this over here just to keep them handy. Get rid of this crap that's on here that we don't need. These are the two we're really kind of worried about. So let's turn them on and let's get Charlie off this beach, shall we? Oh, I can't do the Cry of the Valkyries that well, sorry. Rocks make it hard for us to get through. But we can get our guys down there close enough that we can start placing some more lasers down here. And work our way down. Looks like we need a pole here somewhere. Alright. Try not to hit any patches of acid because we are out of healing right now. Alright, we got them off the beach. That's what we wanted. Now let's clean our mess up. See if we can't get these fish without blowing up the landmine. There we go. Mark our way all the way back up this beach. Alright, so what we have to worry about is do these shallows here cross to where we could end up with some biters coming across? That do we need to take this little peninsula? I don't know. Let's walk up here and look. Whilst we're at it, we're going to go back up. I think I have some more healing packs up at camp. Let's run back up here to camp real quick. We might even bring the tank down because that has, we can carry all our walls in it and we can use it as a great big chest. I think we do have some more healing packs, do we? Nope, we don't. Alright, well, I guess what we're going to do, we've got that beach cleared. So that is going to let us get down there easier. We don't want to risk this without healing packs, which we need to take our fish with us. So let's get ourselves some healing packs. Did a little fishing while we were hanging out, so we got a few hundred fish. Try not to hit our radar. There we go. Alright, let's get back to the house, get our first aid kit. Come back and finish up this lower wall. So from the looks of it, we got two more big biter bases to deal with to be able to run our wall, and then a few odds and ends small ones. What we're going to do, we're going to stay north of our factory because I think we can get further that way. Yep, there we go. Alright, let's get down here. Drop these off. Now, is there anything else we need while we're down here? I think we have plenty of walls. I think we have plenty of ammo and lasers. I think we want to take some spare telephone poles. We want to heal ourselves up. There we go. We're healed up. Now, we haven't been really using the rockets. I don't do well with that sort of stuff. Don't seem to. So we'll have to check this beach. What we may end up doing is if they can walk across these shallows, if that's what this is shallows, and they can walk across, we may just block with a little wall there. Doesn't look like there's any other shallows other than possibly right there that they can cross. So if we block with a little wall here somewhere and some lasers, we should, because they're not going to be able to get a whole big mass of them across at one time anyway. A few lasers ought to do just fine. Now, down here, if we come across right here, as low down on this as we can, I don't know where it transitions, we could potentially pick up all of this crude oil. We're going to definitely pick up the uranium. I mean, that's the whole point of coming down here. And if we do it from, say, here, we could build this out to the shallows. That's what we ought to get while we're here, is landfill. We could build this shallows out so that they can't come up on those shallows. Or actually, that's low water. That's not even shallows. This is the shallows. So we could come from this corner right here, and we can come straight across. We'll jump the cliff. We'll jump this cliff, and we'll be right here. Now, this purple, I hope that's not like the plague purple stuff that's in the game. I think there's some plague stuff in the game, in this mod. I don't know a lot about it, so we'll see. But I think that'll give us a nice little territory. That'll certainly give us the coal we need. It'll certainly give us the uranium we need. And we got this tiny little bit of uranium here that we can snag out of the ground at some point. Yeah, so I think highly doable. We need to get, like I say, we need some landfill. We can take some of that back with us. That should be more than enough. Get rid of the stone. Get rid of the trees. I thought we got rid of the stone. Did we not get rid of all of it? $15. We'll do 20. I think we'll do 20. That won't get us enough to clear all of this, I don't think, but it'll certainly get us enough to get these guys here so we can run this wall over. Yeah, I think we'll run it right there. We don't need the oil right now, so if we don't snag the oil, we don't snag the oil. The big thing is this uranium. So if we come across, we'll still end up with a good bit of that crude oil. So we got to kill this base and this base, and then we got our wall, and then we got a few odds and end bases in there. So I think we're good. 19, one more and we'll go. 20. And we'll let that build. We certainly put enough fish in there. Let's get back over here and finally get this done so that we can start mining uranium. Now we're making tracks because we need them for science and we need them just in general. So once we own this property, we can set up a railroad track and train to go over there, drop off sulfuric acid, and pick up uranium, and bring it back to our base. At that point, unless we start getting desperate for resources, I think we are done with our expansion for a while. Our land expansion. I mean, we're going to continue to expand the factory. The factory must grow. But land expansion wise, I think we'll be done. Because we got more land than we know what to do with right now. Resources is our goal, and we've got that big iron patch, and we've got several copper patches, and once we get the uranium, we won't need coal to power or to burn for smelting. We won't need it for power because we will start a nuke plant. It's going to take us a little bit to get it started, but once it's started, all of our power worries generally go away. All right. So, I think we want to leave all but a bit of that here. Take these with us. Take these with us. Take these with us. Take these with us. But the walls, I don't think we're going to carry them down. Well, you know what? Like I say, that's why we have a tank. Right? As long as they don't screw with our tank when we're not in it. Which they might, if they run across it. Alright, let's follow our power lines down to where we left them. You see me rolling. Alright, if we leave it here, right, because there's the end of our power line, and then we run the power line down here through the woods. And I think that's where we said we were going to come across, is right about there. So let's take a line this way. We're going to clean all of this up as far as all of nature when we go to run our walls. But for right now, we're just trying to snake it somewhere. Now that is where flamethrowers come in handy. Just set this crap on fire and let it burn. And then you can get through it pretty easily without having to deal with all these biters that are in the trees. But we don't have that option right now. I don't know where they went. They just went somewhere. Oh, they're probably running between nests, or running between bases, or running back to their bases. They were out scouting. These guys scout periodically. See, there's one over there. He's just wandering around the woods. He's all lost and shit. And I think that's how they expand. They go out and they find a place they like, or find a place that the logic of the game likes, and they just take up residence. So there they are. That one's gonna get ugly. So let us try and find some nice spots for some nice, pretty lasers. Trigger these guys until I'm ready to trigger them. You know what? Let's just be safe. That ought to keep our bots busy for a while. All right. Let's do this thing. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't near as bad as I thought it was. I mean, I did hear it kill. You know, we lost a few, but all in all, that ain't so bad. So let's clean up our mess. Oh, that's somebody else's. That's not our choice. All right, so let's see something. How's that look as far as a wall location? That looks pretty good. So if we leave the wire there to follow, and we make this our trail, so bad. Now obviously we're going to have to adjust the power lines to make them straight and make the wall straight, but to start, that wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be. I am not complaining about that one bit. Okay, guys. So, let us do this. We're going to leave those lines down there just as a marker. But let's clean up these small poles. Get rid of this stuff. We'll put it in the tank for now. We brought big poles over with us. That means less poles invites less attention in these open spaces for the biters to bother us. Did we bring them with us, or are they in the chest? They may be in the chest. They are in fact in the chest. We're going to bring that with us too. it's going to piss the biters off and get their attention when we lay it down out there. But at that point, we will have taken all of the land. Well, not taken it. I mean, we will have surrounded it, and we're going to start wiping them out any damn way. Go to the other side of these rocks. I'm going to put one there because I want to go down here and I want to check if the shallows do in fact cross here, and it looks like they do. Yeah, see, they could come across right here. So we're going to have to put like a small wall there. Alright, well, now we know. So we will have to run poles down there. Will that reach? Probably not. It'll reach there. Will that reach over here? No. It'll reach there though. That'll reach there. Alright, so landfill. We're going to want to even this up. Plus key to make this bigger. Right? Then you stay on your side of the fence. I'll stay on my side of the fence. Fences make good neighbors. And like a good neighbor, well, does that tree just not exist? It's just a fake tree? Alright, I guess that's a fake tree. Maybe it's not a fake tree. Alright. There we go. Now that should keep them from coming over to borrow our Tupperware. Because people come, they borrow your Tupperware, and then they never bring the lids back, and you know, or they bring you the somebody else's Tupperware with the wrong lids, or they bring you somebody else. None of it ever fits anymore after somebody borrows it. So we're not loaning out our Tupperware to nobody. No Tupperware, no 10mm sockets. that should, in theory, give us what we're after. So now if we, there, 1, 2, 3, right? I do not like not being able to see where my walls are. I just don't. There it is. All right, now. Where is, there is. I'm going to start right from the edge. Pick that stuff up in case it's in the way. Oh. Poles first. There we go. Now, let's see if this lines up. Why doesn't it line? Oh, it doesn't line up because our poles are too close. There we go. All right. Now, it should line up. Ain't that pretty? Now we just run that all the way out. And pick all of these ones up because they won't match up the way we want them to match up. I know the cliff is in the way. We can't do anything about the cliff. Right. Now here, there we go. Uh-oh. We are out of bots. Well, that sucks. So much for doing it the lazy man's way. It's because of picking all them trees up, probably. But that's all right. We're about done anyway. Just gotta go around the cliff. Yes, I know the cliff is in the way. And I know we are out of landfill. So therefore we can't square off that end like we would like to. But that is a minor inconvenience in the scheme of things. At this point, we officially own this piece of land. And them biters can't get off my land. There's another oldie. Get off my land. Anybody know that one? If you know that one, we'll go chicken hunting together. That game is where I got my introduction, not introduction as in I ever met the guy, but my introduction as into his music, is how I learned about Mojo Nixon. And if you've never listened to Mojo Nixon, dude, I'm telling you, you gotta listen to Mojo Nixon. If you're a Tom Waite fan, then I recommend Mojo Nixon. If you're a Mojo Nixon fan, I recommend Tom Waite. If you're not aware of who either of them are, in the current political climate, etc., I recommend that you check them both out. They are both very counterculture people. Their music is very counterculture, very very buck the system. And if you don't know who they are, I recommend listening to them. For those of you who don't know, the game I was referring to is Redneck Rampage. There's a series of games, Redneck Rampage, and it very much makes fun of folks who are of a certain ethnic background, if you will. Not that I have anything against any of it, but it's funny as hell, and it's funny as hell because I relate, is why it's really funny for me. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's an older game. Hell, I think the original ones are DOS games. They're hard to find, maybe, I don't know, or you may be able to just play them online nowadays on like one of these retro game sites or something. But yeah, well worth checking out. I think they're funny as hell. You got aliens and alien chickens that you gotta fight, and I would highly recommend it. It's very nonsensical. If you like Doom, the first person type shooters like that, like Doom or Quake or what have you, it's in that style, only you're a redneck, and you're in the backwoods country, fighting aliens and fighting chickens and fighting other rednecks. It is definitely fun to be had with it. I recommend it. You probably look up on YouTube. There's probably gameplay on YouTube that you can look up and check it out. So yeah. Anyway, I'll stop mumbling, rambling about it. Just my opinion. What do I know? Where'd my walls go? I need walls. I gotta put my walls back up. I just need enough to close the hole, because we have not cleared this area. It belongs to us. We have laid claim to it. We are what is the term for that? Adverse possession. There is a legal term that I am familiar with. A lot of times it comes up with disputes over fence lines. And the premise of adverse possession is, and the definition varies state to state, but the idea being, if you lay claim to someone else's property in a taking sort of way, and usually, like, the reason it comes up with fence lines is because usually what will happen is somebody will have their fence on the wrong side of the property line, that sort of thing. And you lay claim to their property, you know, whether it's intentional or inadvertent, and won't let me put it down there. Okay, I guess you just can't put it down there. You can drive on it, but if you lay claim to their property and you clearly lay claim to their property, like you fenced it in, and they do nothing about it, there is a statute of limitations on it. And after that point in time, that property potentially becomes yours. There's legal, you know, there's a bunch of legal stuff to it and what have you. And part of that being that you have to pay the taxes on it and things like that. But like I say, oftentimes it comes up in fence line disputes. The reason I know that is because I live out in a rural area, and there have been disputes with regards to my property, in the past, over fence lines that have been there for years and years. Now, it's not, okay, I'm going to put this fence up and next year I own the property. It's a sizable time frame. I believe here in Maryland, it's 20 years. And after 20 years, if you've laid claim, per se, to that piece of property, whether it's yours or not, if you're on the wrong side of the survey mark, but The other party has not done anything about it. They've not challenged it in court. They've not had you move it. They've not, charged you with trespass, anything like that. At the end of that 20 years, it ends up becoming yours. And then, of course, the taxes and this and that and the other. I never had to go through that full process, but I did have a dispute at one time with a neighbor who had built a swimming pool in his yard, and was a big above ground pool, what have you. Where are we getting damage? Oh, we'll have to go up and repair those. Anyway, he built this great big pool. Now, in this county, in this state, actually, I think, you have to have a permit for an above ground pool that's over a certain height and over a certain this, that, and the other. Well, he never got it. And had he have gotten the permit, well, first of all, they would have disallowed the permit because of where he wanted to put it. He put it in an area that was too close to his property line and that was too close to his house. And a year or two later, he realized he couldn't get his truck between his fence and the pool, or the fence and the yard, or the pool and the house. Not his fence, my fence. He couldn't get between his pool and my fence on one side, and his pool and the house on the other side. So he wasn't able to access the back portion of his property from the side of the house that he wanted to access it from. Now, I had access from the other side, but for whatever reason, he wanted to take his truck down that side. And got into this big dispute with me about my fence being on his property, and it wanted me to move the fence like 2 foot so he could get the truck through, basically, and wanted to claim that my fence was on his property by 2 foot. Now, the kicker was his property was part of this property before we purchased this property. When we purchased this property years and years ago, and it's been 45 years at this point, my mom and my stepdad at the time could not afford the whole property. So other pieces of it were sectioned off and they were sold off, and this guy's father-in-law, and it wasn't even his property, it was his father-in-law's property. It wasn't even his father, it was his father-in-law, purchased the property next door. There'd been a fence up there even prior to the properties being split up. The fence had been there, or the fence line had been there. It was another fence. We replaced it, what have you. But he tried to argue that the fence was on his property, even though the guy that we bought the property from was a surveyor and surveyed the whole thing and broke out all the properties and put survey markers in and this and that and the other. He wanted to, basically because he was stupid and put his pool in the wrong place, wanted to argue that my fence was on his property, or actually his father-in-law's property, but whatever. But the bottom line is, what it came down to is he got himself a lawyer and this and that and the other, and was going to take me to, and the lawyer basically told him, look, that fence has been there for 45 years. You're shit out of luck. You've done nothing about it before, and this, that, and the other. And that's when I learned about adverse possession. And it is something most people don't know about until it bites them in the butt. Either because they get into a dispute with somebody, or somebody takes a piece of their property. So yeah, it's an interesting little thing. Anyway, there we go. We've cleaned that up. We have sectioned that piece off through adverse possession, and now we are going to aggressively possess the rest of this property. We're going to go in here and we're going to kill these guys. We're not going to do it on camera though. There's no sense. But now you see I've got my uranium. It ain't a lot, but it's enough to get us started, and we have Covarex, so we can definitely benefit from it and get it going. So there you go, guys. When you come back, this will be cleared, and I will be in the beginning stages of setting up a train. We will probably go ahead and expand all of this landfill here so that we can get the train across, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, you take care, and I will talk to you later.